Hi YouTube family. I'm here to give some tips about solo traveling. I've traveled around the world in my lifetime. The only continent I have not been on is Antarctica. I started my solo traveling over 30 years ago. I went to Tonga, which is in the South Pacific. It was a long, several flights to get there. And that was before there was internet, Facebook, and other things that we have available now that can help you tremendously with travel anywhere you want to in the world. Makes it a lot easier now, and I would say safer because you know more if you're careful. So I'm going to go over the tips that I have learned over the years that I think are important for the solo traveler and any traveler in general, but definitely for the solo traveler. All right. And I want to just say some of the countries that I've been to. Tonga was the first international flight that I took that was so far on my own. And I've been to Africa most recently, Rwanda for 6 weeks, Botswana for a month, South Africa for 2 months. And I've been to St. Lucia, Singapore. These are all on my own. Canada, Jamaica, Curacao. All right, so those are the countries that I've traveled on my own. And the first tip I have is if you can take some antibiotics with you, I would strongly suggest that. It's very common to have what they call traveler's diarrhea, which is basically drinking contaminated water or foods that can cause GI illness where you have diarrhea. And if you don't control the diarrhea, you could get dehydrated and have some serious problems. But you know, it's pretty common. You can avoid it by not drinking the water or also the ice in different places. But it's just good to be prepared for illness if you're going to be away from your home base, right? So the antibiotics that I would suggest, Cipro, I really like Cipro. It covers not just traveler's diarrhea, but it covers other illnesses. If you were to get a skin infection, it can help that. There's no one antibiotic that works for everything, but in general terms, this is what Cipro does help with traveling diarrhea or an upper respiratory tract infection, a skin infection. So it covers a lot of things. If you go to countries where malaria is present or prevalent, then it would be good for you to maybe take some doxycycline as a prophylactic measure so you don't get malaria. I'm not giving medical advice, even though I'm a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice, okay? That wouldn't be appropriate, right? I'm telling you to check with your doctor about these recommendations, basically. These are general recommendations that I follow. When I went to Haiti, I took doxycycline so I wouldn't get malaria. And when I had a problem with illness when I was in South Africa, I had to call on a doctor to help me. But if I had my own antibiotics with me, I didn't follow my own advice and didn't take it. I was rushing and, you know, packing and what didn't go fully prepared. So this video is to help you go fully prepared, right? So take the antibiotic because it's just, you know, if your doctor is prescribing it for you in the States, then you can just take it with you, and then you don't have to worry about finding a doctor in the foreign country that you're visiting. Okay, so the antibiotics I wanted to mention that you could ask your doctor about are Cipro, Floxin, Zithromax, and Bactrim. Okay. The other thing I would recommend is getting a portable external battery that you can charge your phone with if your phone loses charge while you're out and about. If you take pictures, a lot of photos, you take video footage, your battery can drain quickly, and you don't know how long you might be out or where you may be able to get a charge. So it's just good to, if you have a bag that you're carrying all the time, you can put that battery pack in that bag and have it available so you will never run out of charge. I've had that problem too, where I ran out of charge on my phone. It was so scary. Oh my goodness. But God spared me. It all worked out. But that's another thing that I think is really, really important. We can learn from other people's mistakes, right? All right, so have an extra battery pack. All right, avoid drinking the tap water and using the ice, as I mentioned, or you could carry a filter with you. There's some filters that you can purchase cheaply in like Walmart or whatever, and take that with you. And then when you have water, you can filter your own water and put that water in the refrigerator, or don't even need to do that. But always have filtered water if you're not going to drink bottled water. That's what I would highly suggest. Another thing that's good for GI illnesses, if you were to get diarrhea or vomiting, is to have activated charcoal with you. Activated charcoal is, you can get it at a pharmacy. You don't need a prescription. They come in capsules usually, and you can take like 2 or 3 capsules at one time and take it like every 4 hours until your GI illness gets better, or if it doesn't, then you need to see a doctor, obviously. But most of the time the activated charcoal will work like quickly, like you may only need to take 2 doses of it, and it is so effective that we use it in the emergency room when someone takes an overdose of a medication, or overdose drugs or the GI illness. We will put that charcoal in the NG tube down into the stomach to try to absorb. What it does is it absorbs things. So it will absorb the toxin that's in your GI system, so it doesn't get into your blood, and you don't get further sick with the illness, and get rid of that toxin. That way it will go out in your stool. You'll have black stools, is how it works. All right, so that is something that's also something that you should always have in the house, as well as when you travel. Okay, always have local currency with you. Don't assume that even though the American dollar is strong, that everywhere you go that people will always take the American dollar. Sometimes they prefer to have their own currency, especially if they don't understand the currency exchange rate. So not everybody knows how valuable the U.S. dollar is, or can interpret, can count, or can interpret what you're giving them. They may feel that you're not giving them enough because our $1 equals a lot of their dollars, and then it may not look right, or they may not appreciate what you're paying them in the American dollar, and so you may have to give extra, or it may not be accepted. So always have local currency with you. All right. Of course, follow all the visa requirements so you don't get in trouble. You don't get, trouble with the law. So that should be self-explanatory as to why you should follow the rules. You're in another country. Don't assume that what the law is here in America or wherever your home country is going to be the same in the country that you're going to. Things are different. So, ask a lot of questions. Ask more than one person the same question so you can kind of solidify. Or these days, you can ask Chat GPT or, Google it, But follow the rules and the laws to stay out of trouble. Establish ties with people in the country that you're going to. You can establish these ties before you even get there. Now with the internet, with Facebook, there's so many Facebook groups now that whatever niche that you're into, you can find a group of people in that country and connect with them before you get there by email and phone, WhatsApp. you can call and talk to people without having to pay long distance phone charges. It's so great what you can do now these days. So if you're a black woman that's retiring and looking to be an expatriate, there's groups of women that are traveling to all these different countries, from Panama to, Africa to, there's so many different, places, Africa is how, YouTube also has, you can see groups of people in YouTube, but people who are talking a lot about the different countries that you may want to go to, and then you find a Facebook group. I personally, how I was able to connect with people is through my church. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and I asked around if anyone knew anyone in South Africa, and I was connected with an elder in the church who let his family let me stay with them. It was such a blessing. When I went to, that was in Rwanda. And then when I went to South Africa, I connected with some people in a church in Santon Church in South Africa, and they were very nice to me too. And I went over their house for dinner after church, and I've still stayed in touch with some people. That happened twice. It was really nice. I ate at church with them. So it was really, really nice. I didn't feel alone. I did have connections with people. So make the effort, if you don't know anybody there yet, that you connect with someone, okay? It's for safety reasons as well as to just enjoy yourself better, if you're doing this alone. Lock your luggage. Don't assume that all the airport people are honest, some of these people will steal if they have the opportunity to get into your luggage and take something. My son was stolen, found that a few of his expensive and sentimental things were stolen out of his luggage in Cape Town, South Africa. So lock your luggage. I have luggage, and if I remember, and we'll be able to, I'll show a picture of my luggage that I use. It has a lock that is combination lock, and it's TSA approved. So TSA will be able to use a key and unlock my lock. So I can keep it locked with my combination so no one else can get in, but TSA, if they need to get in, they can get in without breaking my lock. So you can buy luggage like that now, and that I would also highly recommend. Don't overpack. When I first started traveling, I took a lot of luggage. I've learned since then, I try to travel light, and just, wear things that are appropriate for the area, the weather that you're in, and where you're going to be doing it, and just wash it and rewear it. You don't need a whole lot of clothes and a whole lot of shoes and a whole lot of hats and a whole lot of this and that. You're there to enjoy yourself and not be bogged down by luggage. I travel with one or two luggage at a time, and that's it. Okay, excuse me. I had to stop for a minute. I'm back, and I was on Do Not Overpack. So I would recommend that you carry luggage that you can handle on your own. Don't assume that you're going to get help where in the country or in the airport or with a taxi driver or wherever you are, because you may not. So be able to handle all the luggage you take on your own is what I would recommend. Especially as a solo traveler. All right. The next one is transportation, particularly from the airport when you get to your destination. Try to arrange your ride from the airport to your destination, your host hotel or whatever, wherever you're staying. Do that ahead of time, if you can. Don't assume that there's going to be an appropriate taxi for you. When I was in Botswana, when I arrived there were no taxis visible when I got out of the airport. So, I've never faced that before. I've always seen taxi drivers everywhere I've gone, that I can remember. But this particular airport, there was none. So I had to share my ride to my destination with someone that I didn't know. But everything worked out. I did pay more than I needed to pay for the ride, but I really didn't have much of a choice. I just wanted to get safely to my destination. So I kind of knew that I was being gypped a little bit, but that's okay. You live and learn. So, have the local cash if you can, and have your ride prearranged if you can when you get to your destination. Don't make any assumptions. Prepare, prepare, prepare. Have good contacts. And because no man or woman is an island. We all need to depend on one another. We can't do everything by ourselves. So that's my tips for solo traveling or traveling just in general. All right? Peace and love. Here's the luggage I use for carry-on and checked luggage. Here's the TSA compliant lock I was referring to with the combination lock. This luggage is very lightweight with swivel wheels, so it's easy to maneuver, made by Samsonite.